Something I like to do every single year is to tier rank my Romantasy reads. This will be the 3rd year in a row that I'm doing it. There's something about it that is just very reflective for me. I find that this way I can really cement my all-time favorite reads of 2025, the book boyfriends that I'm dying for other people to read about, and also kind of realize which ones that maybe I shouldn't continue or I don't have the best thoughts on anymore. I read 53 Romantasy books in 2025 out of the 120-ish, I don't even remember what number I'm at anymore, that I read. That means the ones that make it to this top tier, you should definitely read. And I feel like it's the perfect timing for this video because Valentine's Day is coming up, and I don't know about you, but my favorite thing to do on Valentine's Day is for my partner to deliver me chocolate-covered strawberries, for me to lay in bed all day long with a book that's going to be my next book boyfriend. And so whatever's on this top list, you should probably read. Another little bonus to Valentine's Day this year might come from the sponsor of today's video. I am working with Bellesa once again. I'm so thankful that they continue to work with me. I truly do believe in their company. They are a bi-woman company and they celebrate all things sexual wellness. And today I get to talk to you about their Whisper collection. These are the world's first silent vibrators. Bellesa is making it so that you do not have to choose between power and discretion. Listen to how quiet this is. Okay, ready? Can you even hear anything? This is the Whisper Bullet, and my favorite thing about this, other than how quiet it is how easily this is to put into a suitcase or a bag when you go on a trip somewhere, and no one's even gonna know that you have this. On top of the Whisper Bullet, we also have the Whisper Vibe. This one is just as quiet. The nice thing is when you're using these, you don't have to worry about waking anyone else up in the house. And then my personal favorite is actually the Whisper Rabbit because it also has G-spot stimulation, which is very, 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 very nice. And it's also just as silent but deadly. Another reason I personally really like this collection is actually how soft they feel. It's honestly such an incredible collection. And let's just say you might have to see it, but you won't have to hear it to believe it. My personal opinion is that everyone needs one of these, which is why I'm hooking you up. And everyone who signs up wins a free Whisper Vibe or a free Viral Rose suction toy with any Whisper purchase. Click the link in my description and grab your new vibe. Now the question is, they will stay silent, but can you? Every single year when I do this tier ranking, I want to make the tiers be something that represents some big thing in 2025. Typically I do lyrics because I'm typically obsessed with some sort of artist every single year. The last 2 years actually have been Sabrina Carpenter, and part of my brain said I should probably do Sabrina Carpenter again because one of my favorite things I did in 2025 was go to Madison Square Garden, go to New York, and see her with 2 of my best friends. But once a believer, always a believer. And the love of my life, Justin Bieber, released 2 albums in 2025, so I had to use Justin Bieber quotes for my tier ranking this year. Our first top line, this is for the best books, the ones we absolutely loved and are obsessed with. We did an iconic line, that's my baby, she's iconic. So this is the best ones, the iconic books of the year. Next up, we have These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away. I feel like this is just the vibes of the books that you still have the butterflies for them. The next tier is Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not? I feel like this is the ones where I'm a little unsure for a bit, but I lean towards I love you. I'm still thinking about it. The next tier is kind of just vibes. It's Heat Checking These Chickens, which is kind of like checking my haters. I'm checking in on them, That's kind of the vibe I have. So it's I might convert you to a non-hater, but a kind of a hater. I don't know, it's just a vibe that Heat Checking These Chickens gives me. And then our last tier is actually not a lyric, but it's an iconic line that Justin Bieber has said, and it's not clocking to you because the book didn't clock to me. It did not clock in my head. So now with that out of the way and you understand the vibes, let's get right into the tier ranking. And I see that our first book is Burn for me. And I think this first book in the series can go into Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not? I enjoyed this first book, but I did have like mixed feelings as I read it a little bit. So I feel like as I read it, I was just like, is this good? Is it not? And then I ended up settling on it was really good. But now looking back on it, reflecting, I'm like, did I actually like it? Or was I just pretending I liked it? I don't know. That's not something I do, but like my brain is like, did I like gaslight myself into liking this book? Because it doesn't feel like a book that I would like. Does that make sense? Next up we have Zodiac Academy. Let me change this to portrait images. This is so much nicer. Zodiac Academy is going into That's My Baby, She's Iconic. That was my first book in the Zodiac Academy. Obviously, it's the first book of the series, and I fell in love with that series right from the get-go. I knew that it was going to be an incredible ride, and I think about this book all the time. Rain and Rune, I think it's gonna go into heat checking these chickens. Really don't know how to explain this tier to you other than it's a certain style of books that I want to heat check. I don't know. Zodiac Academy, Shadow Princess. I think the rest of this series, I could probably just pick them out. I think the rest of them are going to go to These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away. I feel like none of them had hit that spot that that first book hit for me yet, but I continue to like feel giddy when I read this series. So let me just throw them all in there. The Half King, that can go into It's Not Clocking to You. I don't love that book. I did not get the experience that some people did. Honestly, I don't feel like a lot of people liked it, so it didn't clock to a lot of us. Feral Blood can go into Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not. I feel like this series, and honestly all Eva Chase, I kind of just sit in a vibe where like it's good in the moment, but not past that moment. Like I like the books, but I don't think about the books later. And I prefer to think about my books forever. Like my favorite books, I want to really stick with me. Lightlark, I didn't hate. I gave this book 3 stars. I think this is why it's also important to realize that this is kind of about the vibes of my feelings on the books now, not necessarily the star ratings, because I liked Lightlark. I thought it was 3 stars, but I'm putting it in It's Not Clocking to You because I feel like there is just like this cult love of the Lightlark series that just didn't clock to me. Rhapsodic, also, It's Not Clocking to You. It didn't clock to me. I don't get this at all. Did not like this book. City of Souls and Sinners, I'm putting this in Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not, even though I didn't enjoy this book as much as book 1. I loved book 1, wherever that is. I am going to grab it and I'm going to put that into These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away because Darien Castle gives me constant butterflies. But the second book is going into Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not because I didn't really like it, but now I have this feeling of like, was it just me? Like, was I just in a mood? Because I loved book 1 so much. So it's like, I feel not concrete on my feelings about that book anymore, if that makes sense. Kings of Moonlight, as I said, Eva Chase just belongs in Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not. The War of Two Queens can go into These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away. This had been a long time since I read JLA, and so I wasn't sure I was going to like it. I actually picked this book up expecting to DNF it because it had just been so long. I thought I wasn't going to connect to the characters. I think books like this showcase that although I do struggle with character love, I'm a marathon reader, like binging series works more for me. And I often complain that maybe I should have read this sooner. I think when I read books like The War of Two Queens and I'm so instantly back in the world and loving the characters and I feel like I've never forgotten anything about them when it's been 4 years since I read that series, reminds me that like I'm sometimes making excuses for myself and excuses about my feelings on a book because there are so many books that I've read 5 years later and just been sucked right into it. And this was like an example of that. Like I really quickly realized how much I love these characters still. Reign of Shadows and Ending, easily iconic. That's My Baby, She's Iconic. iPhone case, lip gloss on it. Like that's Reign of Shadows and Endings. Like I have no other words. One of the best romantasies I've ever read. Blood Union can go into Heat Checking These Chickens. Maybe it belongs in Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not. I do feel like Blood Union Part 2 kind of reminded me of why I liked the series in the first place, but it has not made me want to pick up the next book at all either. A Ship of Bones and Teeth, I honestly don't even remember. I'm just gonna put it in Heat Checking These Chickens. I read that this year. Are we sure? Are we 100% sure? Twilight of Embers. I'm just gonna grab this entire series and we're gonna throw it into Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not because this was a series that was such a fun time read, but as soon as I put the books down. I was like, did I actually enjoy those? I don't know. This category is just me being like unsure about my feelings on a book. Like, I thought they were fun reads, but they didn't last. They don't stick with me. They're just like a fun time read, I guess. Shadows So Cruel is the second book in the Feathers So Vicious series, so I can grab both of those. But Feathers So Vicious and Shadows So Cruel are actually going to go into That's My Baby, She's Iconic. I feel like I don't talk about this series very often. It's very dark, so I think that has a little bit of it for me. I feel like not a lot of people are going to like it. I feel like recommending it is sometimes hard without screaming at people to trigger warnings. Like, it is a very, very, very dark romantasy, but I thought it was really well done. And I personally have never read anything like that, and I think that's sometimes what makes a book feel so iconic for me, is that feeling of this feels unique and special. Into Their Woods, I think I did technically like this, but I'm putting it into Heat Check and These Chickens. I just feel like it fits this vibe. No commentary after that. Storm of Secret and Sorrows is going into These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away. I didn't love it as much as the first one, but I still think about this series. I still think about where we went in book 2 constantly, and I'm still like gravitating towards reading them after reading book 2. And The Mist Thief can go into Heat Check and These Chickens. I wanted to love this so much more than I did. It makes me sad that I didn't love it the way I feel like I should have loved it. Ash and Feather, I read that this year. Well, Heat Check and These Chickens, I feel like it doesn't belong and it's not clocking to you, but like I didn't like the second book, which is so sad because I loved the first book. Secrets of Graves and Gold and Lady of Doom and Devotion. Honestly, these are both going into Heat Check and These Chickens. I really liked the first book in this series, and I feel like every book went downhill, and now I don't really have fond thoughts. I think this is also why I've been less likely to pick up Eva Chase anymore, because I've just been kind of burned by a series that I really did like, just going in a direction that I didn't enjoy. And so I'm scared that that could happen to more of them. And because it's not a series that I'm going to think about forever, it also made me feel like I wasted my time, which is not true. Reading is never wasting your time. But I was like, I could have been reading something like incredible during this instead of just a fun time read that ended up not even being fun, you know? Phantasma? Now that's my true baby. We're putting her in the #1 spot even though these are not ordered at all. This was my favorite book of the year. Blackwell will sit in my brain forever. I just feel like the words he said and how he said them just spoke to my soul. I feel like the trials in this were some of the most unique I've ever felt. I like remember them so vividly. Really, really enjoyed Phantasma. I also feel like it really felt unique to me in a lot of ways. It took a lot of things that I was so used to seeing in romantasy and just added like a little uniqueness, like this like gothic vibe, this like ghost love interest, these trials, but like just the way they were done. I don't know, it felt different to me than a lot of things I was reading at the time. Onyx Storm can go into These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away. I just love this world. I love these characters. I'm constantly thinking about them. As someone who doesn't reread, I'm thinking about doing a Fourth Wing reread because I just want to be back with them. Oh, Of Blades and Wings and Frost and Feathers. Of Blades and Wings can go into Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not, because I did enjoy that first book, but Of Frost and Feather can go into Heat Check and These Chickens. I feel like I need to check in on myself for reading this and see like if I'm still okay, because the disappointment is so real. A Forbidden Alchemy. This was really shocking to me, and I'm putting it in These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away. I was not expecting to love this book because I had seen so many people not love it, but I had such a good time with it. It reads a little bit more YA leaning to me than adult, like older YA. But I had a really good time with it, and I am thinking about the second book. Like, I really did enjoy these characters. Direbound is That's My Baby, She's Iconic. Again, I feel like I compare this to Fourth Wing a lot, but this did feel very, like, unique to me in what was happening and how, and like, what was actually going down in the story. It took typical tropes, micro tropes, things that we see consistently in this genre, but just breathed fresh air into it for me, whether it was through the characters or the companions or just like how the whole system worked itself. I really did enjoy this one. Iron and Embers, it's not clocking to ya. and very, very sad that I didn't like the second book at all, but it did not work for me. So we'll move on. Realm of Thieves. Okay, this is another one. I'm putting it in It's Not Clocking to You. It's not that I didn't like Realm of Thieves. I actually did. I gave it 3 stars. I'm continuing it, but I feel weird and like something about this because everyone I know was screaming and loving this, and I feel like just like something didn't clock to me. Like I feel like everything on this tier, maybe I should move the Half King up. Actually, maybe I'll move the Half King to Heat Check and These Chickens, and then this tier feels more like the things that like they're such a cult following, and I'm like, why didn't these work for me? But like I feel strange that they didn't work for me, but they didn't work for me. Like there's something good in these stories and it just didn't clock in my brain, you know? Shield of Sparrows. These butterflies won't seem to go away. I really did enjoy this story. I thought there was so much unique about this world building, this concept, the vibes, like the monsters, the monster hunting. I have butterflies for that. I have butterflies for the world building. I struggle with the pacing a little bit. I didn't love the romance, but I loved the whole concept and vibe of this story. So I am really, really excited to continue it. I think the ending will make me love book 2 even more too. Enchantra, you know what, I'm putting this in It's Not Clocking to You because I gave it 4 stars. I did enjoy it, but I feel like we buddy read it with a bunch of people. I think we might have done it for book club, and so many people were loving this book. And I was like, it's good, but it's no Phantasma. Like I feel like my expectations were so high for it and it just like didn't hit them. And I'm like, well, it hit it for other people. So like, what's wrong with me? Why didn't I like it the way other people did? Silver Elite is going into That's My Baby, She's Iconic. I mean, dystopian romance is kind of in, and I enjoy it. I enjoy reading about taking the system down. I enjoy nuanced characters. I enjoy so much about what dystopian is. And I had a great time with Silver Elite. The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk, I don't know where to put this. I feel like I need another tier just for it because I didn't like the first book, but I did really like this book. Going to These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away because it has made me so excited for this final book. Well, final duology in the series. A Fate, Fortune, Fire, Heat Check and These Chickens. I still have this book and I realized I should unhaul it because I'm not continuing on in this series. At the time I was like, oh, maybe I will, but there's no interest. There was nothing special or unique in the story for me. Riftborn, It's Not Clocking to You. I didn't like this book. This is one of the ones that I didn't like, and I'm like, how did so many people like it? Like, I don't think we read the same book, like truly. Princess of Blood, a 4-star from me that I think is gonna go into That's My Baby, She's Iconic for a sequel. I really, really, really did enjoy this. I feel like there was a lot of well done expansion on the world in this. I feel like maybe I should go into These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away. Yeah, I'm gonna put it there. It doesn't feel like it fits with the other ones on this tier, but I really did enjoy this one and I cannot wait for the 3rd book. Like I'm very, very excited. Oh, guys, I fucked up. Everything I said about Realm of Thieves earlier, I meant Terror at the Gates. They're not even anything alike. I don't know how that happened in my brain. But Terror at the Gates is the one that I read and I felt like, how did everyone else love it and I didn't? Realm of Thieves can go into Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not. Well, maybe I should go into Heat Check and These Chickens because I didn't even remember it. I don't know with this one because I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it and it's like a standalone and I don't think I'm going to continue on in that series. So maybe Realm of Thieves it is, but maybe my feelings on it are exactly why it belongs in Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not, because I can't decide. Okay, well, Terror at the Gates, everything I said about Realm of Thieves, rewind and listen to that for Terror at the Gates. A Soul of Ash and Blood is going to Heat Check and These Chickens. As much as I said that I loved The War of Two Queens in the end, I didn't need a book that was book 1 from his POV that was mandatory in a series. And it makes me angry. I need a tier that just is like, my mama don't love you and she likes everyone, and just throw this in there. Throne of Ice and Blood, I think is gonna go into These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away. I feel like this is a book that I didn't love as much as the first one, but has me intrigued to continue. Like, I love the ending, and the ending has me excited for book 3, and that's always a good feeling. What Fury Brings, it didn't clock to me. It's going in, It's Not Clocking to You. Brimstone. I don't know where to put this. I have really conflicted feelings on this. I think I'm putting it in It's Not Clocking to You. I just feel like I didn't connect with this one the way I wanted to and the way I saw other people connect to it. Even though I gave it 4 stars, I really enjoyed so much of it. There was just something that I just like didn't get. I don't know if that makes sense. Vesselis, he checking these chickens. I also don't think I'll be continuing on in that series. Red City's going into Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not. I gave it 4 stars. I really did enjoy this, but I feel like I really fluctuated in my feelings when reading it. I couldn't decide if I liked it. I couldn't decide if I didn't like it. Overall, I ended up liking the book and the messages and the story, but it was definitely like a wish-washy book for me. And I still feel like now sometimes I'm like, was it a 4 star? I can't decide. Like, was it 5 stars? Was it 3 stars? Like, I just, depending on what I'm remembering about the book, I feel different ways. A Fire in the Sky can go into Heat Checking These Chickens. I have nothing to say about it. To Cage a Wild Bird is going into These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away. I'm very excited about this book. I'm very excited to continue on in this series. Thought it was very, very enjoyable. Arcana Academy, I think is going to go into Throwing Petals Like Do You Love Me or Not. A little bit more surprising, but there are times where I'm like, I could never pick up book 2. And there are times where like, I need book 2 right now. I don't remember a lot from this book anymore. It hasn't stuck with me the way I feel like others have. And The Wind Weaver is going into These Butterflies Won't Seem to Go Away. I'm very excited to continue on in this series. I'm very excited to see what comes next. But it's not currently a series that I'm just like screaming constantly about to everyone I know. It was at one point. Right now, my feelings feel like it's just something I'm really excited to continue on in. That's my tier ranking. I would love to know if you agree or disagree with me, if you have some that you think that I should pick up, any romantasy that I should pick up in 2026. I'm always looking for some new reads. I'll leave some videos on the screen for you to check out if you want to continue hanging out with me. And if you just want to leave an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a bird emoji and have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.